does, Alex. This
I'm
is what
not
she
kidding.
fucking does.
Are you
I'm
recording
so
now?
sorry.
Are
Yeah,
you fucking kidding me?
I'm not.
This is what she does.
So we have to start. That was the best. So we have to take another shot?
Guys, okay. I'm going to make a formal apology to the listeners and to
What
you
about
guys.
fighting? We deserve the apology.
You guys, I'm very sorry. We just took a full shot of whiskey, which we haven't done in, I don't know,
Ages.
years. And I wasn't recording. Whoops.
Well,
We do have video content.
We have video footage. Maybe we'll put up the silent video with like music under it, Hank. You'll do that for us.
Okay, anyway. We're in San Diego.
so wait, they don't know that we've been to San Diego now twice and Santa
Yeah,
Barbara.
yeah, yeah. Okay, let's get into
Start
the...
over.
Okay, so we're in San Diego.
We're in San
This is
Diego.
our third grandmother, mother, child trip. We always say grandmother, mother, daughter, but that's not true because
'Cause we
Brody's
have
a boy.
Brody.
Yeah.
And Ryan's not here, but
Right, you also have a son.
3 years ago, San Diego. Last year was Santa Barbara. And then today we are in
San Diego.
San
San Diego.
again.
And last trip is when you started experiencing your symptoms.
It was
Yeah.
exactly this setup.
It was this exact thing.
We came down here. Our moms were upstairs with the kiddos. And
Yeah.
we were chatting about your
I was just
symptoms.
like, weird symptoms.
Weird
and then-
sensory stuff.
You're like, I couldn't, you couldn't
Yeah, like
button
couldn't
your-
really do his diaper. We
You
were at the
couldn't-
zoo and I was like struggling with like the stroller.
Your mom saw that you couldn't button your pants.
Couldn't button my pants. Yeah. And
So
I was
you're-
just like, I'd already gotten it checked out. It's not like I hadn't gone yet, but they had ruled it out. They had like basically just said like, oh, go to physical therapy. So that was when I was like, oh, okay, I'll make another appointment.
Right, like something didn't
Something
seem right.
was like more off.
And it was probably then like a month after that you went to the ER.
Yes.
Right? I think
It was like almost exactly a month after that.
Yeah.
And that month after your surgery is when we were planning this trip.
so it was actually
Closer.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi.
it was because I'm psycho and kind of like went back because when Jordy found out that like there was enhancement going back on the scan, then I just felt like waiting until the next scan was reliving August when she got diagnosed. And so then I was a psycho and started rereading text messages from August. And then I found texts between you and me, Alex, around like, we just need San Diego to happen, meaning
Yeah.
the trip we're on right now. And we knew that like the median timeline of getting reoccurrence was 9 months. And then
And
we
you're one-
calculated.
I'm perfectly.
Yeah, you're one-
I'm
you're 1
the
month
model
shy.
patient.
Yeah.
I'm
Well-
right on time.
right. Well, we didn't know what that meant.
Right. But now we do.
So wait, let me just see. August to September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May.
She's
So-
1 month. Yeah.
So we knew that she was going to get like a scan, maybe if all the 9 months was going to be like 2 weeks before this trip.
Right.
And
We knew we had to go.
yeah,
Yeah.
we knew we had to go.
And we almost didn't.
And the plan was to go. Like I said to them, even if I get bad news, I still want to go.
But then, like, what happened 4 days ago? Maybe take us back.
Yeah. So basically, the plan was to like get a rescan because there was like minimal change between my last two scans from April to May, and then I was supposed to get a scan at the end of June. That was my plan before like choosing to do surgery or anything like that. But then I started having that same exact feeling that I had the day I went to the ER.
Which is like what exactly?
like a heaviness on my forearm that makes me feel like a drop arm, kind of. It's like I have strength, but it just feels weird. And then like a loss of sensation. And it's like consistent. It doesn't come and go like it used to.
Yeah. I mean, Alex, you said a week ago. When was the Ever Living concert?
Oh yeah, tell the story of how you knew something was terribly wrong.
yeah, we were sitting down and Jordy went up to go to the bathroom and she just knocked me out with her arm.
Like in the face.
And I looked at her like, hey, bitch. And she didn't turn around. And it was her left arm.
my left side, and I didn't even know. And when I got back, she's like, "You hit me in the face when you
Oh, you
left."
said something to her.
Yes.
She's like, "Do
well,
you?"
Tolly was like,
She was like,
what? She didn't even turn around.
Like she didn't even say anything. Like she just hit you in the face and just kept walking.
and then we were like,
And I was
oh.
like, I didn't even
Didn't
feel
feel
that.
Was that scary when Alex said that?
I mean, that day was already bad because that was
Oh,
the day
yeah.
that
You
I
also
had
found
met.
out shit news then.
Yeah, I had found out that like
Third
the third
opinion.
opinion was like, I think this is recurrence, whereas like the other two doctors were like, we don't really know. It could be, it couldn't be. And she was like a lot more certain. And so I didn't know if to believe that or not, but like I was already in like a sort of bad headspace. And then that happened and I was like, oh, yeah, there's definitely something
That was like
wrong.
an hour before we went to the concert. too.
Yeah, it was
You were
bad
on the
timing.
phone.
And then I ate a lot of Swedish candy, which
Interesting.
probably didn't help me out. But, you know,
Maybe it helped you out.
Like,
potentially get into a
emotionally,
trial.
right, it made it grow. I fed it so that I could get
Right,
into a
let's
trial.
not even joke.
It's really fun.
Because now we're not eating it, you know?
Yeah, I had
now it's done.
I had a little bit the other day.
You're not the one with the tumor.
Right.
Right. You're allowed to eat it still.
Oh, okay. I feel
can live
guilty.
vicariously through you.
Yeah.
So then
So 4 days ago.
that was last
So
Thursday.
that was last Thursday. And then on Tuesday, I started having this feeling in my arm.
So that was like
and
4
I was
4 days
really
ago.
tired. Like, I felt like I needed to just sleep all day. And to be fair, I didn't really sleep the night before, but like I hadn't felt that tired in a long time. I was just like, something just feels off. I messaged my doctor and he's like, let's just push up your MRI to tomorrow, which is 2 days before the trip. No, 1 day before the trip.
That's one
Wait,
day.
I
It was
no,
one
but
day.
then you felt really tired and then
Felt the symptoms.
I felt the
Yeah.
symptoms. Yeah. So then I was like, okay, great. Okay, I'll go get this scan. And he's like, I'll meet with you in the morning the next day. So
2 hours before our trip.
2 hours before
And I
we're
did ask
supposed to
you-
leave.
At 9 a.m.
Yeah, like my appointment was supposed to be at 9. Then it got pushed to 10.
But I did ask you the day before, like, if the news is bad, do you still want to go?
And I was like, yeah, I still want to go.
Unless like you need surgery.
Right. I was like,
that
unless
day.
something imminent has happened, like crazy, and I need to have surgery, like I need to be admitted right now, then no.
Yeah.
But like, aside from that, yeah, I want to go on the trip because you got to seize the day. But then it's like, you know, my appointment comes and he's an hour late, and then I literally go from my appointment where I learned that I have recurrence of tumor to therapy, and then I'm supposed to just like head out after therapy. My toddler's melting down.
It
Yeah.
was
I mean, you were there.
Chaos. Yeah. Alex
Your-
came over with her daughter Rory to like play with Brody, and I mean it was just chaos
there wasn't a minute for you to process.
to like sit and just process and like, yeah. And so then it was like, I was like, I don't know if I can go on this trip.
Well,
like,
also to be fair, you had to make up your mind.
right, like
with
it was
so
like,
many
oh, like we're
things.
leaving in 10 minutes. I'm like,
No.
Yeah.
I can't
No, yeah.
leave in 10 minutes.
And the news you heard was like it grew.
Right. The news I heard was it grew, which was what I was expecting, but I think I was hopeful that I would maybe have more of a plan in place.
Right.
But I walked away from the conversation basically being like, he's put out a lot of feelers for me, my doctor, which is amazing, but like nothing is set in stone. So I'm like talking to this doctor at UCLA, and I'm waiting to hear back from this doctor at Mass General, and
And also getting all of these different opinions. From
right. And
all
then
of
I was
the-
like getting all these different opinions. It was just like, it's good.
Okay.
I did
Is she
record.
recording?
I
did.
just need to make sure.
I did.
How can you tell?
Because the red light's on. So, yeah, I felt like extremely overwhelmed because I didn't have like a moment to just like sit with
makes
the
a lot of
news.
sense.
Well, you did sit.
No, I did, but I mean
that one
before
moment.
before I decided. So basically, I was like in therapy, and I'm like, what should I do?
About what?
The trip.
Oh, that's what you're talking about in therapy?
Yeah.
Was a trip? Not like
100%.
I mean, it was like
Oh.
both. It was like both, but it was more the trip.
Yeah. What
I
did
was
your
just-
therapist say?
She was just like, you're not responsible for like whether this trip happens or not.
and you said that flat out.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't want to be, and she's like, you aren't. So like, just believe
Correct.
that to be true. And then she said, you're a person who likes to do a lot, and the fact that you're questioning this
Says something.
Says something.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah,
Well, we'll get there.
that's probably true. So then I like walk out of therapy, and I'm like, okay, like I don't know what to do. So I'm like sitting on the steps outside of my house, and I'm like calling Erica, then I'm calling my mom, then I'm talking to you, I'm talking to Hank, and I'm just like, we're trying to figure out what would be helpful. Side note, my mom hurt her knee, and so she like can't really walk. And so like on this trip, obviously
The grandma's help.
the grandmas help us because
Yeah.
we're
Right.
like all on our own. And like my mom is great with Brody, but like she can't really move, and my child moves a million miles an hour.
Right.
So I was like, okay, like the idea of going on this trip, like essentially solo parenting,
Right.
feels very challenging to me with the news that I've just been given and the
And-
state my child is in at this moment, which
and
is
all
screaming.
of the stuff that you would have to do when the doctors call the next
For
day.
sure. Like
you
I
were
knew I
like
was going to
that.
have
No
to talk to
plan.
doctors. Like there was just like so much unfinished business. I was like, how am I possibly going to do all of this? So I just like sat on the couch, and I was like, I can't move from the couch. much. Like, I'm not going.
Yeah.
And
To
so,
be fair, we called it. We said.
yeah, we said. I said to
no.
Alex. She's like, you should just call it. I'm like, okay. So I call it. I like call my mom. I'm like, Mom, love you.
Yeah.
No, first we said Erica came up with suggestions, of course, because that's what she does. She comes up with ideas. So she's like, what if Hank came? And then you're not solo parenting, and we can get an extra room, so your mom can stay in her room, and you guys can stay in a room with Brody. And I was like, okay, like, yeah, interesting idea. Okay, we have like 2 dogs.
Right.
Where are we housing them for the weekend?
I'm like getting anxiety
I
thinking
know.
about that day.
Couldn't figure it out.
My house.
Finally, yeah, we figure out okay,
Ramsey,
Erica's husband, is going to take the dogs. And then it's like, okay, like my child's melting. He needs to take a nap. I'm supposed to put him in the car right now and go on a 3-hour drive. Like, how?
Yeah.
How are we going to do this?
So then you call it.
I call it. I'm like, Erica, listen, I love you. I really wanted to do this trip, but like, I need to sit on my couch and like
Breathe.
I just need to breathe. Like, it's too much, and like,
Yeah.
I can't have the pressure beyond.
Then
me.
we're texting.
And then, and Alex agrees with me. And then,
Which is so interesting that you agreed with Jordy.
Because I was there in the moment with her.
Right.
yeah,
I think if I was on your end, I would have been like,
no, we're going.
And in the moment that I was in, I was at lunch with my mom and Emma, and my mom and I, like, my mom's booking your mom another room. She's like, my mom's like, this just needs to happen. Like, it's going to be really good to get out. And if anything goes wrong, we can leave immediately. But I just don't know. I just don't think we should not go. And so then my mom gave me this like 5-minute thing, and I was like, oh my God, you're so right. Like, it just felt so right.
Yeah.
Strong.
I mean, I think that if I was in your position,
Yeah,
on the
you would
other-
also
I would
think
have said the
that.
same thing.
Yeah.
But seeing Jordy in that moment of just like seeing Brody and like watching Hank, it was like
It was a lot.
I was just like, how am I supposed to leave the house right now?
yeah.
So then
yeah.
you call it, and then
Erica's like, well, I'm just going to come over then. I'm like, okay, great. You know what? And Hank's so sweet. He starts thinking of all these alternative staycation
Yeah, he already, like,
ideas.
booked stuff.
He booked like dinner
Yeah.
for our moms and was like, go use the Burke Williams gift cards that I got you guys for Mother's Day and go get a spa day and go out to lunch
Yeah.
and I'll take the kids and like just so nice.
sweet. I would still love to do
Yeah, I
that.
know. I'm like,
Yeah, Hank, we're gonna take you up on that for
offer
sure.
still, but anyway, so that was sort of like the plan. I was like, I call my mom. No, so then Alex's mom calls us. No, I call my mom. I say, listen, Mom, I'm not feeling up to going. I love you, whatever. And she's like, okay, all right. Then Alex's mom calls and goes, Sue's waiting to be picked up. And I'm like, I just told her we're not doing the trip. And
She
she's
goes,
like, no, like
she's
she thinks
waiting.
she's doing the trip. So I call my mom back and I'm like, Mom, I just want to confirm, like, you know
That we're not going.
to the trip. Like, I'm not going on the trip.
Yeah,
and she's
that's a
like,
good story.
are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, like
She's like, I just spoke
she's
to
like, I
Erica's
just
mom.
spoke to Rosalind. I'm like, yeah, like I don't know where the lines got crossed, but like we're not going on the trip. Like I'm not going. Then Erica arrives. And
And I guess you thought I was coming to
to hang out. So I was like, okay, all the moms should come over for dinner. I'm like coming up with ideas of things we should do. Like, let's do a staycation. We could all sleep at my house. Like,
Yeah.
and then Erica comes over and she sits down on the couch and she's like,
I'll tell you exactly what she
Okay,
said.
what
yeah,
did
what
I
did she
say?
say?
I don't remember.
I don't actually remember.
Well, because we all started crying.
yeah.
Yeah.
You said, and tell me if I get this wrong, you said, I don't want cancer to make this decision.
Yeah.
And then we all cried.
Yeah.
And it's true. I feel like it's taken so much from you in
Yeah.
every aspects of your life that, like, you were right. Your mom was right.
Well, here's the thing. Like the day before, I was like, if you get bad news, what do you want to do? And
I said go.
And you said go. And I just felt like in that moment, which I understand there was like so much chaos, but I'm like, this,
You don't.
I wish
like,
you could
don't.
I don't
understand.
know.
what was
Because I was
happening.
like calmly eating pancakes.
I know.
Like, not calm.
But it just made me so sad that there's just a man walking by and staring at us. Okay. It just made me so sad that like Jordy said yes and cancer said no.
Yeah.
And
I
that
get
really
that.
fucking angered me. I'm just like, I don't. And then because of this timeline of like the 9 months, I'm like, if the statistics are like we don't we don't have all these times to have trips, and then it made
Yeah.
me really sad. And I just
Yeah, I
didn't
know.
want-
That was a really hard moment for me. I was
Yeah.
like pretty adamant that I wasn't going on the trip.
Yeah.
And Erica like looks at me and she's like, I really feel strongly that we need to go on this trip. Like, I really feel like we need to go on this trip. And then she just starts bawling, and I'm like, okay, like, you feel really strongly about it. And then I look at Alex, and I'm like, what do you think? Because Alex has been right about her instincts all the time, and Erica's been wrong. So I'm like, do you feel as terrible? And she said no, which gave me hope. But
Here we are.
But here we are. We came on the trip. We basically, like, gave me a few hours. We
went to get an iPad.
Yeah, we hung out. We were like, okay, how?
No, immediately.
No, immediately we were like, okay, Hank, you're coming.
Yeah.
to help.
Yeah, to help with, like, Brody.
And you're going to drive 2 kids.
He's going to drive Rory and Brody. The two like, more,
ones.
like, energetic children. And we will drive the 3 of us with
the
Erica's chilled, calm child, Emma. And he was on board and such a good sport. And so then the moms were going to all drive together.
The grandmothers,
sorry. So it just, like, felt like, okay, we figured it out.
Yeah.
And then we, like, leave. There's, like, so much
before that, we wanted to help Hank.
Oh, right.
So
we wanted
bought
to help Hank. So we, like, run to Best Buy.
to get an iPad. Yeah.
Impulsively buy an iPad. And then come back, quickly pack up the car, throw the dogs in the car, take them to Erica's house. The dog pummels Emma. Like, it was just a complete.
It was a mess.
Yeah, there was a lot going on.
There was so much going on.
Then we finally get in the car and
we get in the car and
we're
there's
going
so
5.
much traffic. Our friend calls us and is literally like, "Why did he sees us in the car? He's like, why did you leave at the worst time?"
We were like, you don't need to rub it in our face.
Like, we know. Yeah, so we, like, get in the car and then Erica decides, like, we should get off the freeway in Culver City and
I was just
dinner.
like, I just thought it was gonna get more terrible.
And I was just
the
like,
more we drove.
okay. And then we get out and my child does not want to sit at the table. Complete disaster, running down the street. You know, like, it was just chaos after chaos after chaos. And I'm thinking in the car, like, this feels like a lot.
Yeah.
And
it was.
Yeah. And then
we,
you
like,
said some words.
Yeah.
You
when
said
I
some
wasn't
words.
there, Jordy.
I did.
Yeah.
I did say some words.
She looked at my face.
I looked to the bathroom.
I said,
I feel like I was ambushed.
It made me so sad. I didn't
And then
mean-
her and Hank held hands. So, like, here I am.
When she told me this, I wanted to cry because I'm like,
I literally-
I just want to point out that this is why having a trio best friend is really hard.
No, why it's better.
It's better, but it's, like, also, like, everyone has support, but also it's hard because, like, I say something to Alex in confidence, and then she just goes and blabs it to Erica.
To be fair, I'm like, I ambushed you, which I honestly didn't feel that way. I thought I was holding you to what you said.
Can I tell you what my thoughts were last night?
Yeah.
As we're driving as we're sitting at dinner.
Yeah.
Okay. And, like, my child is trying to escape the high chair.
Yeah.
Miserable. He's, like, throwing crayons everywhere. I'm like, okay, like, I said I didn't want to go on this trip. And, like, now I'm on this trip. Like, who is this trip for?
Yeah.
Is it for me?
Right.
Or is it for you guys? Which is
Right.
a totally fair thing to want.
It
Like,
is.
You guys are allowed to want your trip.
Right.
But in that moment, I was just like, this is not what I want to be doing right now.
Yeah.
I want to be, like, curled up in a ball in my
Right.
bed watching
Yeah.
Bridgerton. I just, like, wanted to, like, be checked out from reality, essentially. And I was, like, very much not checked out from reality. I was, like, checking my phone. My doctor's calling me when we're on the drive. Like, okay, I heard from this doctor. I heard from that doctor. And then it's like, Hank's like clearly struggling taking care of the 2 kids that are just like, it was just like kind of a shit show.
He almost lost his bag.
Yeah, he almost lost his wallet. I'm just like,
But it was in the trunk.
yeah, it was
Yeah,
just
it
like,
was
is this
in
what
the
I
trunk.
needed?
Yeah.
Like, was this the right call? I'm like,
Yeah,
because
I don't know.
for sure this wasn't the call I made.
Right.
But I like
Right.
walked out of that being like, okay, I'm going on the trip.
But we also felt that for a minute. You and me.
Which part?
Me and you.
Which part?
You and me.
you what?
Wait, which part?
Felt what?
I think the whiskey got to me.
Already? How
Already?
do I feel fine?
We took it like
I
an
know,
hour
but it's
ago.
like 1 shot.
Yeah, no, I don't really drink anymore.
Okay, we felt what?
Me neither. No, we felt badly.
Oh, I mean,
I mean, even
comment, like,
today we asked Hank, like,
Oh, is that why you like guys came and like had like an
I
intervention
felt
with
that.
me
I
today?
didn't. When you
Listen.
said the word ambush, I was like, that was. I really felt like it was
wasn't
Jordy
just
versus
ambush. It was ambush, and then they held hands.
Okay, but I felt like it was Jordy versus cancer. So that's why.
Right, I know you were standing up to cancer.
Well, let me ask you this: are you happy you're on this trip
I am.
now?
I am.
Yeah,
So it's all worth it because
Wait,
I am.
is it? Because I was scared to ask that question, to be honest. I just said, do you want to go home? I wasn't saying, do you want to be
Okay,
here?
so at 4 o'clock, I wake up from my nap, and Erica and Alex come in there and like, can we talk to you? I'm like, sure. And they're like, so how you doing? I'm I'm fine. Wait. I'm like, I'm fine.
No, back up.
Yeah, let's talk about what happened here. Okay,
do
so
you
pause.
mean?
We're playing with the children.
Alex and I are playing with the children.
and Hank.
And Hank.
Yeah. And I go up to Hank. We chatted for a minute about you and how you were doing. And
You mean you spilled my secrets?
she was just like, ask Hank. You do it better. So I went to go ask Hank, like, how you were doing. And if,
Yeah.
does she want to go home? Is she okay?
And he goes, ask Jordy.
Oh.
And he walked away.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Erica was there.
Okay.
And I'm
I don't
like-
think he was mad.
It's not about that.
Oh, okay.
Him being mad. I was just like, okay, well, shit.
Right. You're like, oh, like maybe she's actually upset.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I wasn't upset. I think once I got into bed last night, I was
felt-
like, okay, this day is over. Like,
Yeah.
thank God. Like, I
and it
needed
was a
this
hard
day
day.
to end.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, like, the night was a little rough, but, like, the whole day was totally fine. I mean,
Okay.
to be fair, I did nap for 2 hours, so that helped.
So did I.
Yeah.
I did not.
You didn't. I'm sorry. But, yeah, I once you guys came in and asked me, I was like, oh, like, I'm not going home. Like,
Yeah.
literally at dinner, Alex is like, we can still turn around. And I'm like, Alex, we can't.
You literally said, can we?
I said, can we? Or like, yeah, we're literally in Culver City. She's like, I think our moms were just finishing dinner. I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like, we're going on the trip. We've committed.
Yeah, I feel like it is
I
for
was like-
me, this trip, but also for you. like, I
like,
feel
I also think it's for the moms.
It's for our moms.
Moms. Honestly, I understand it. But like in that moment, I was like, okay, like this feels like
I
I'm
got
being
it.
strong-armed. And I was.
100%.
Yeah. But you were accurate in the sense that, like, of course we should go on this trip. Of course we should celebrate our time together. Of course we should, like, not let cancer fuck up our plans. Like, agreed.
Yeah, and I think there's balance too of like if you're actually like needing time, like I
Well,
should
also,
respect.
it's, like,
but I'm like,
for
do I
real,
respect
we were,
you
like-
or do I push? Like I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
For real, you were like,
I think
let's
she had
cancel
us
the
both.
zoo. Like, let's not, like, do all the ambitious things.
Right, I was like, we can do
planning.
nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
like-
can do nothing, but, like, let's just go to San Diego.
Children's
So we
Museum
did
is
the Children's
contained.
Museum today, very contained. Kids were entertained for hours. Like,
Yep.
then we napped. We ate lunch, then we napped.
You keep saying napped like
Not
so
you.
many times.
Everyone else except for you.
We went to dinner.
Went to dinner. It was like a very nice evening.
Yeah.
And then we sang songs with my mom's
that was
guitar.
sweet,
Like,
singing
Yeah.
songs.
it was like a really nice
That also,
day.
that moment felt heavy.
Yeah,
It
in a
did.
different
Did
a
way.
it?
little
It felt
bit.
different than the last times we.
I mean,
Used
like,
to sing.
of course.
Yeah.
Like when we
Yeah.
used to sing songs together, it was just my mom whipping out the guitar. Now it's like, is this the last time that my mom's whipping out the guitar while we're on vacation with our children?
Sometimes you're like way too sarcastic for me.
I know. I'm like, your mom's gonna like not be okay.
No,
listening to
I
the
think I
fight.
felt it with her too. I just felt.
Oh, I'm just
the
saying,
vibe.
listening to
Oh,
that.
listening to it?
Oh,
Listening to that comment.
She doesn't have to listen to that episode if she doesn't want to. You can tune out, Mom.
No, I just felt the heaviness in the room of
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's like
It
a bitter.
is heavy. Like, it is heavy. And
Well,
I
when
think,
your mom sings songs, it's always emotional, like in
Well, I
one
mean-
way or in another.
Right, I mean, like,
it was
she-
not emotional songs. It
they
was
were not
Shabbat
emotional
Shalom.
songs. They were Shabbat songs.
Wheels
and
on the Bus.
Wheels on the Bus, Yellow
Yeah.
Submarine. Like, really.
Slippery Fish.
Slippery Fish. They were some kid classics, but it just felt
Just felt different.
Heavy. Yeah. But they were having so much fun.
I
Yeah.
know.
Emma
they
was
were.
clapping. She made a request.
Yeah.
Rory and Brody
Very
were
Eating bread and
spinning around,
slamming
Yeah.
on the bed.
slamming on the bed. Like,
Typical.
It's just a nice night. So I'm glad that we're here.
Okay.
I
That's good. And
feel
I'm
that
sorry for
to my
ambushing
bones.
you.
It's okay.
Me too.
It's okay. Well, you like.
I was just like
you
being
actually
helpless. I was actually there.
you actually flipped your switch.
Oh,
So-
well, she was texting me
so-
something else, I think.
Yeah.
No, I was go through the text. In the moment
In
with
the
her.
moment, she's like, "You should just call it."
I said call it because she was going back and forth,
She's like, "I think you should just call it. Just
stressing
call
out.
it. Just call it." And I'm
Yeah.
like,
She
"Okay,
was feeling
I'm calling
She
it."
was feeling. You were also feeling her mom. Like she used the points and like there was so
there were
much
so many
stress.
things. Yeah.
Oh,
And I was
the
like,
points were
Jordy-
no big
No, I know. I was like,
deal.
if anyone's not going to care about the
It's
points, it's
not gonna be
Roz.
Roz.
But I was
Yeah.
just like, she booked
But I
this whole
looked at her
trip.
and I said, Jordy, just call it. And the minute she was like, okay, she like sunk. Like,
Yeah, and I was like, okay, I'm sitting on the couch now. I've called
And then
it.
I'm
and then
like-
Erica walks through the door and she's like, we're going. She's like, my mom said I can't take no for an answer.
And not because of the points.
it's not about the points. It was about the experience
Yeah.
and like the time together. And I mean, you guys can speak to your text messages about the trip, like last
Right.
year after we went on our other trip. and
Yeah,
then
but
I got diagnosed.
I mean, I think that the thing is that like we last summer it was July, and we were in Santa Barbara. And whenever we go on our trip, we're like, where are we going to go next year? And so in Santa Barbara, we decided
San Diego.
we're going to go to San Diego. And we might go. We went to a terrible zoo last year.
Yeah, there were
And
no
so-
animals. I literally asked
One
my
of them
therapist.
looked-
I was like, "Excuse me, are there animals at the zoo?" And she was like,
Do you remember the one? There was one,
Yeah.
like,
No,
drugged
no, at San
kangaroo.
Diego.
"Yeah,
she
no, there were
asked.
like drunk wallabies."
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
sad.
But she said yes.
She was
they're-
like, "Yeah, it's amazing. It's like the best zoo." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Like, I mean, that's good news."
yes, we're like, okay, let's go to a better zoo. Let's
Yeah.
go to San Diego. And then when Jordy, you got diagnosed, Alex and I were like side texting, and our moms of like, San Diego needs to happen. Like, we put so much into like this trip, and it's just like such a meaningful, beautiful trip, and like we need to make it happen.
Yeah.
And we've been holding on to this for like the 9 months.
For sure. I mean,
of,
we've
like,
been like, of course we're going to San Diego.
and so that's why I think there's like so much meaning attached to it.
There
It wasn't
is.
just like going to San Diego. Like,
No.
Right.
It was like, oh, we get to like go do this thing that we're like supposed to do.
and the time I
in
literally
spite
told
of
you
cancer.
2 days before.
I know.
I don't want anything getting in the way of this trip.
And I was like, what's going to get in the way?
And I was like, I
mean-
don't know. I just have a feeling. I don't want something to get in the way. Like, I don't
Right.
know. I can't explain it.
I'm just, glad it wasn't, we have to take out this
Yeah.
tumor
like
today.
right now.
Today.
Yeah. I mean, well, that was my initial thought. I'm like, that's the only reason, the only way I'm not going on this trip.
Right.
And
right.
then like
To
the
be fair, that's
reality
true.
of,
Oh, ship
the reality of the situation was like, oh, I just got a lot of information, so many loose ends.
with
My
no answers.
child
about what
is
to do.
melting.
yeah.
And now I'm supposed to book it to San Diego.
Which I understand.
Yeah, I was like,
sounds
that feel
terrible.
To be fair, like San Diego's not that far away, but
No, it is.
But it's
It
like-
is when you have toddlers.
yeah,
and
it's just like, okay, I drive there, like I'm kind of stuck,
Yeah.
you know, and I didn't want to like make my life more stressful
which it was
at this moment in time. But now being here, I'm very.
I wonder what your therapist
grateful.
will think when you tell her that you went.
You went. Yeah.
I know she's gonna be like, "Are you kidding?" She's gonna be like, "Jordy the doer." Yeah.
Let me ask you this: where are we going to go next year?
That's what I said, and then you slapped my leg.
She didn't slap your. You take things out of
That's-
context. She did this.
I grabbed your
Aw.
leg.
Whatever. That's sorry.
She
That's what I
grabbed
meant.
it
Not
as
the
It's
if
like an
slapped me.
emotional moment.
I know. I know. I
that
didn't mean
was not a
slap.
slap.
Like a pat.
But it wasn't even. It was a.
It was like a.
It was
oh,
like
you're
you're thinking.
You're focused on the future. Like
Yeah.
I love that.
Right.
yeah, but it was like a sad.
It was sad, yeah. I mean, I'm down to go anywhere.
Terranea,
I think
Ojai.
Terranea is like the easiest, probably, because it's close.
Yeah.
Ojai would be fun too.
Ojai would be fun, but we got to go before it gets too hot.
Yeah.
And
Well, June bloom.
yeah, like I feel
Yeah.
like June would be fine because it's honestly not even that warm here. Yeah, I mean, I just like I like making plans for the future,
Yeah.
and I feel like this trip was like that for us. It was like, oh, like
This was the future trip. So
Yeah, it
I'm
was
like,
like,
we
we're
gotta do
going
the
to San
fucking
Diego.
future
Like,
trip.
yeah.
Otherwise, I feel like, I don't know. I attached a lot of meaning to it.
you attach a lot of meaning to it, and then like me saying I didn't want to go
Made me
was like
really
really
sad.
sad. So it's not that I didn't want to go to San Diego. It's just that I
It has nothing to do about San Diego.
yeah,
to
it's
be
like
honest.
San Diego has nothing to do with it. It's just the
All the other things.
stress of like
Yeah.
making decisions. In that
I mean, think about
moment.
all the stress too, even today, about going to the Children's Museum,
yeah.
getting a phone call about the Boston
trial.
trial.
Right, I need to like register as a patient at Mass General.
all of
and
these
then,
kids screaming, having a blast.
I'm literally
and
like
here
on the
Jordy is.
phone, just like giving all my information and trying to get in touch with this doctor and sending them my images. I mean, like 2 hours worth of on the
Yeah.
phone while my like kid is like playing on a bus.
Yeah.
And it was just like I didn't get to be there to watch him play on the bus. Like I had to be doing that, which is stupid. And
Well, it's
I
kind of like
hate
so we,
it.
in our other like recording that we were talking to someone, and she was saying that her husband died, but then like, and she was there when her husband took his last breath, but then her son woke up from his nap,
10 minutes later.
and she had to like go get her son.
Yep.
Right, life still
Yeah, it's just
happens.
like life keeps going. So it's like, okay, like my kid's at the Children's Museum and we're going to go get lunch after this. And I'm just going to like squeeze in my little chats with the doctor.
Yeah.
And
And I feel like it's extra heavy now that you are moving forward with a trial where you might need to move across the country.
You want to talk
Yeah.
about that one?
Yeah.
yeah, that one feels heaviest for me.
Well, tell us why, Jordy.
Okay. See, you are good at this.
Mm.
I think it feels hard because
Do they know?
No one knows anything.
So basically, there's like this very new, innovative phase 1 trial happening at Mass General. They're doing it at some other locations like City of Hope in Burbank.
In LA, yeah.
But they are
Oh, I
not
didn't know that.
recruiting.
Yeah, they're not recruiting.
They're
Isn't
not
that
recruiting at
insane?
the moment.
They have the drugs there.
Yeah, so can't join. But it's open at Mass General.
Isn't that
So
insane?
Well, I knew about Mass General.
no,
I
right,
didn't
but
know
like that
about
it's
Burbank.
available in Burbank, like right next to my house.
Could we just like?
I know.
No, they're not recruiting.
Did you think that too?
It's somewhere in the hospital. Like,
Right.
I'm just gonna like ambush. Maybe you can go strong arm them for me.
yeah, I
You
will.
can show up and just
Will
like be
do.
really convincing.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, the trial is like specific to my mutation. All of the doctors are in agreement that like if I can get into this trial, it is my best bet at like the most innovative tech like treatment and technology at this moment in time. It's a risky trial, not only because it's far from my house on the other side of the country, and I have to stay there for 3 months essentially.
Yeah.
And then like travel back and forth after that, but also because they leave some of your tumor in your head,
Yeah.
whereas like typically with a surgery the goal is to get 100% resection, and so like that
Do you want to explain why they leave some in your head?
Yeah, so they want to leave measurable disease so that when they give you these infusions, which I'll explain in a second, they can see if they're working or not.
So while like you had 100% resection, this would be like 10%.
Yeah, so my spot isn't that big and they require you to leave behind about a centimeter. And so, yeah, I would only...
Yours is slightly over
They call
one.
it like debulking. So they're
Debulking?
Debulking. So they're just like taking out like
Some.
Extra.
Some, but leaving some. And then they leave a catheter in my head
Yeah.
to deliver the medication to me. So basically they harvest. The first step is getting into the trial. They look at my images. They do like a workup on me, make sure all's well. And then after that,
Yeah.
they
Sucks.
basically like do a blood transfusion in which they take blood out of my body. They separate out these T cells, which are like fighter, like immune response cells, put the rest of the blood back in my body. And then in 3 weeks' time, they've created a customized infusion with my own cells to like basically go in and attack the tumor. And there's been like very, very good results, but it's very, very early. So it's like, and it's not like long standing. So it's like you have to continue to get the treatment.
Yeah.
It's not like a silver bullet kind of thing. So, yeah, there's just like a lot of risks with the surgery. It's like,
Well, and also that you can't get the surgery for weeks.
no, I actually can.
24th, right?
No, so I think I get the thing on the 24th and then like a day or two later I
No,
get the
I
surgery.
know it's in weeks.
Well,
But
it
either
wouldn't
way,
be-
I wouldn't
yeah.
get the surgery for weeks
'Cause
because
I know,
every
I
doctor
guess
is
So
on
my
vacation.
surgeons are like all out of town
On vacation.
on vacation. So basically,
not be allowed.
the earliest I could get a surgery at Cedar Sinai would be like
The 17th.
the 17th. And today is the 8th? 7th?
7th.
The 7th. So, yeah, I mean, that's like 10 days away, which is not that long, but like this thing grows pretty quickly. So, and I'm already feeling symptoms.
Well, it won't be the 7th. I mean, you're planning for it to be
My,
like the
my
25th.
hope is to be like the 25th or the 26th so I can be in Boston and do it. But, so that's like the logistics. So, like, we have to find a place to live. We still have to pay our rent here in California. Our dogs, like, where are they going?
Yeah.
Our child. Like,
Well, your child, you don't have to worry about.
yeah,
I mean,
I know.
Emotionally.
Emotionally, like, it's just like a hard thing to think about. And like, they messaged me today and they're like, if you get into this trial, like, you're like, we need you to come out next week to like sign the consent and like do the screening and like all those things. And it's
Like,
just
so much.
like really soon. And like Brody's little, so he doesn't really understand. But yeah, I just feel like the hard part is uprooting our lives and like we
Like-
can't like have him be with us while that's happening because it's like I'm going to be recovering. I'm going to be in the hospital for a long time with
Also, like having him see all of that.
all of that. Like I don't want to expose him to
his little
that.
body can't process.
Yeah, and like
what's
he's just not going to
happening.
have his people around him either to like pick up the slack that like
Right.
Hank and I won't be able to like handle all on our own. So it's like he's going to have to stay behind probably for like a month at least. And that's like just a really shitty reality of it.
Oh, it's so shitty. I like just think about in your position of grappling with those things while like other people in our lives are like making decisions around like such minor decisions.
I know.
And it's like the heaviness and weight of,
I mean, it's your life. This
it's like
isn't a
life change. It's
Yeah, it's like life-changing decisions. And again, like he's little, like a month is not going to like make or break his childhood. Like
No.
I recognize that.
But
But
I
it's
just-
more like if my time is really limited
Right.
and I choose to do this trial and I spend it away from him and like I don't get the results I'm hoping for.
yeah,
You know, like I've
that's
made that
sad.
choice to like not spend more time with him.
That's what I hate, like all the risks.
Yeah.
Like there's so many risks and like you're doing it.
For like to be here.
Yeah.
Like I want to be here, so I'm gonna do the risky thing. But I mean, the reality of it is that all of it has risks. Like if I was to do this my second choice trial, it's like I have a 50% chance of actually getting the drug. It's like a randomized study. So
Right.
50% of the people don't get the drug and 50% do. And I
Right.
won't know if I'm getting it or not until the study is over.
Right, and if you're in like the placebo, you're getting chemo.
I'm
which
getting
they
chemo, which is
but
still helpful, but it's-
maybe not because
Would you get a compassionate dose though? Like, could you get it afterwards?
Once later, yes. So like once if they find that it's effective, then I can get like open access essentially.
But your
Yes.
tumor came back while on chemo.
Right, but this is a different chemo. So
Okay.
I think the tumors tend to be responsive to this chemo. They're not as responsive to Temodar. That's what the MGMT
Why don't
thing
they
is
just give
about.
you the other chemo?
It's like more intense. And they want to
Okay.
try like the least invasive, the
Sure.
thing with the least amount of side effects.
But
like,
clearly that didn't work.
no, it didn't. But like for some unmethylated patients,
Right,
it
it
does.
does.
Yeah. So I have something called unmethylated, like it's an unmethylated tumor, which means it doesn't respond as well to chemotherapy.
She literally has the worst tumor.
The worst kind.
The worst kind.
Aside from being
Yeah.
in like a spot where they can't get it.
Right.
Like the recurrence that I do have, it's like in my surgical cavity. So like the symptoms are the exact same that I was having before. I don't have anything different. I think I probably was having headaches the first time and just didn't realize it. And now I notice them because I'm
Yeah.
on alert. But like outside of that, it feels the exact same. And so it's like on
And
the
you're still
surface,
you.
I'm still me. It's easy to get. My doctor was like, I have no doubt that you're going to be like completely fine having
From
this
surgery,
surgery.
yeah.
Surgery.
But like the idea of leaving some behind is also like
Also
it's just like
risky.
super
That's
risky
risky.
and scary. But I mean, they've only published like 4 patients that have had this, but like all of them, their tumors went away.
right.
They did come back like
After
6
6
months
months.
later, but they weren't like on the treatment anymore. So
Wait, what? Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So what do they do? Resect that fully?
then I think it's like
Yeah. So what's the plan if like if it does grow?
So I think like ideally it's the
Stop
idea is
the
not that it's
trial.
just gonna like kill the cells forever. I think it's like it kills them until they start growing again. And so then I think the idea is like what I've heard a lot of times is people say like there isn't just gonna be like one magic thing that like treats glioblastoma. It's gonna be like a combination of things. So maybe it's like this type of therapy with another type of therapy. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's
But
just so many unknowns.
There's so
I
many
know.
unknowns. Like I do believe that in the next 10 years they will figure it out. I just don't have 10 years.
Yeah.
So I hope they figure it out sooner.
Yeah. Me too.
Me too.
Yeah.
This is like heavy shit.
Yeah.
It's gonna
How my
be
friends
another-
doing?
Sad.
Yeah.
Deeply bummed.
Deeply bummed.
No, we've looked at that. Bummed is not the right
I
word.
know, we've
It's
been joking
torturous.
around.
So I like use the word bummed
Well,
a lot
this
because
is
I'm
the reason.
like
It's a bummer.
I minimize shit, you know?
Yeah.
Um
Like when you told us that you had GBM, you go, it's not the news we were hoping for. I'm like, what? Like, it couldn't be further from that.
I know.
Right.
Yeah.
No, you've been using the word bummer,
Bummer.
and it's like
definitely
that
not
doesn't
a
even-
bummer. It doesn't even
no.
come close. It's what did we say? Torturous.
it's a bummer that like the
Torturous.
first half of this didn't work.
It's
You
a
know, like,
bummer-
that's a bummer.
It's a bummer that I didn't turn on the record
Right.
button when we took a shot.
Right.
But yeah, it's
it's
Agonizing.
deeply
Yeah.
unfair.
yeah, it just is horrible. Yeah, I mean, that's where my mind is at. I guess just like
My mind's at, okay, like if you go to Boston, how can I be in Boston?
right, and
As much as
Alex's
possible.
mind is like, I'm taking your child
Yeah, because I won't be able to
to like come to Boston because you have your own child and you have work and all sorts
Single
of things.
parents
You're a
and-
single parent. You have all the
I mean,
things
granted,
of
I'll
life.
still come to Boston.
Sure, but like you can't just like uproot your life and
But
like,
I'm
come to Boston.
gonna help with Brody.
Yeah.
Yeah. And granted, Rory sleeps with me, so Brody sleeps
No, I know.
in
Like
Rory's
Brody would
room.
literally have his own room.
Yes, and his full
He'd be
sensory
stoked.
room. Are you
He
kidding?
would.
He'd be so happy. He
Yeah.
did sleep through the night. Like
No, he
In
would.
his-
He
in her
would be
bed.
fine. They would honestly it would help.
this would
me
be
out.
like a catapult into a big boy bed.
Yeah.
Right.
Like a really dramatic change.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
And I can put up the crib side. You know, it's
oh, yeah,
not
that's
even
true.
like
that's true.
Yeah.
Like the least.
Those are the decisions I like wish we had to focus on. of,
Right, like, do we put the crib
side
side up or do we
Right.
not?
right.
It's like, do
No,
you take
it's-
my child for a couple of months or do you not?
Right.
Not like
It's just like really a lot. And I know like Hank would come back and be with him at times, and like other people would fly out and be with me, and yeah, it's just like not the life you like think about living, you know,
no, it's like everything has been stripped.
for sure. And it's like I just had to like message all my clients and be like, I'm going on medical leave again, and I don't know when
Yeah.
I'll be back.
And you
it's
just
like,
started feeling good about the life you're living given this diagnosis.
yeah, I was like, oh, I've like built a life that like feels pretty okay given my like horrific set of circumstances. Like
Right.
somehow I've done it. I've cracked the code. And now I'm
then
like, oh,
evil
I
GBM is like, haha, wait a second. I'm going to grow back now. I feel like that's what GBM is doing.
I
because-
know. Well, I said like, who is fucking with me?
Yeah.
Like, what
GBM.
the hell?
I know. It
Yes.
feels,
It
I
feels
feel,
personal.
Yeah.
It is.
Like, it feels really personal. I'm like, just it's one thing after another after another.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not someone to throw a pity party, but I'm just like the flea infestation and the
Well, what Hank said was so like kind of on point. He was like, "Are the fleas
yes,
what was the word he
like
used?
a metaphor
A metaphor for GBM.
Yeah.
It's like you think you're getting rid of them, and,
Yeah.
like,
And
then
they
you see
never
them
go
again.
away.
And then like we got bit yesterday
We
in the car.
did,
There
in
was
the
one
car.
of me.
Right.
yeah,
That's a sad metaphor.
it is a
I
sad
know,
metaphor.
but I like kind of like was like, "Oh yeah,
yeah, it's
maybe.
true. But like that's what they say, right? Like the little cells are just like hiding in there, like
Yeah.
waiting to rear their ugly heads.
Just like those fleas."
Yeah, and here they are. But in a more hopeful, on a more hopeful note, I'm grateful to have like the options like of Mass General
Ugh,
and UCLA.
I feel like rolling my eyes
I know.
because it's like
I know, but I do feel that because
totally
like,
you can feel that. I just feel like rolling my eyes because like I wish you didn't need to be grateful,
Grateful for
for
that?
having an option of which trial to do.
Yeah, I wish I didn't need to do any trials. And like realistically, I could do no trials, but
No.
like I'm not going to
Okay,
do
yeah,
that because
yeah.
I want the best.
Well, also
possible
if
options.
if we like your tumor was resected fully
Yep.
and it came back.
Yeah.
So we don't have an option to do nothing.
No, not do nothing, but I could just do surgery, and then like do chemo. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
and
Outside
then-
of a trial setting,
Right, but the chemo didn't work.
different chemo.
Got it.
Yeah, but like realistically, we know that that's just like buying time. It's not like a solution to the problem. Like this is potentially the first steps towards a solution to the problem.
Do you know how many people in the study at Boston, how many of those people had tumors come back after 6 months?
All of them.
What?
3 of 4.
Because there are a total of 18. Is that right?
No. So there will be 18
they
total
will,
people.
in the whole recruitment of the trial over 3 years. They will recruit 18 patients.
So I'm
you
one of
Jordy will
one
be
of
like
18.
9 or 10
Yeah, that's
because she's like coming in at the midpoint. So she'll
because
probably be
they're
number 9
going
or
for
10.
It's got like really hot.
Originally, it was like EGFR V3, which is like a lot
What you
less common.
Right.
That was why it's like more selective, I think. Then they opened it up to all EGFR, which is much more common. But yeah, it's a small sample size. So it's like they're testing safety. But so far,
It's
no
been great.
adverse side
Yeah.
effects outside of like flu-like symptoms that you would get with any like immunotherapy or like vaccine that's made from your own cells. So it feels like a good option. The part that I don't love is like leaving some in because like I'm still going to have the symptoms after having
A
had
surgery.
surgery. So like I have to like be okay with that.
Right.
And it's
you know.
because of the size that it is now is like what they would leave behind. So it's like the symptoms you have now or the
Is what I will
symptoms-
have. Yeah. And it's like it's fine. They're manageable symptoms. It's just like not the most fun.
I just like it's crazy to say that. Like these
I
are
know.
manageable symptoms when like you have
I know, but it's like I'm in these groups and like I just don't like I was saying to them yesterday, I was like I don't want to wait too long because I don't want to like lose the function of my left side. And
I mean,
that's like
I think that's the scary part.
that's the scary
too,
part is like the longer I wait, like the
It
more
can get
damage.
closer to your motor
Just-
cortex.
Yeah.
But to be fair, it was also very.
It was
close
very
to your
close to my motor cortex
last
before,
time.
and he said it's less close now. So that makes me feel better.
And you are monitoring it more.
For sure, I'm like on top of it.
It's like these are the positives, and I'm just like, this
yeah,
is
I
so
know. Like these are
fucked
not
up.
positives,
It's so
but
fucked.
they're something,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, I'm just like grateful to have good friends.
Yeah.
You guys are like the
Yeah.
best friends, though.
So when are we getting your tattoo?
Oh, like anytime.
Should we get it tomorrow?
I need to call my allergist.
Right.
So I have a tattoo on my foot. It says J. We named ourselves J when we were
JAE.
like in middle school,
J-A-E.
maybe.
Yeah, J. I don't know.
Oh, I always say JAE.
What do you say?
J.
J.
Do you say J?
I don't know. Do
I've
I say
never
J?
heard that. But
I've
whatever.
never heard it. I've never heard that.
J-A-E. Yeah.
So Alex had, so basically Alex was like, I'm gonna get a tattoo on my foot, and we were like, yeah, like
This was like years ago.
this was like we were fresh out of high school.
I would
Yeah.
like to say I have never agreed to getting a tattoo. I bought a henna kit, and I said I will give myself hennas once a week for the rest of my life.
To be fair, I did say I would do it, and then I backed out because
So
I'm a little
I got
baby.
the tattoo. Jordy was supposed to get the tattoo. On my
Erica
foot.
never got the tattoo.
So no one got the tattoo.
It's just
So
Alex. She's
I've lived
repping
with
us.
this now for how many years?
Like 15.
15 plus?
Yeah, like 15
And
years.
Jordy was diagnosed, and like a month later, she was like, I'm going to get the tattoo.
Well, because I was like, I'm gonna have a fuck it list, and on there I'm putting getting that JAE tattoo. Because like if I'm not gonna do it now, when the hell am I gonna do it?
And then I
Right.
called Ramsey, and I was like, ugh, Ramsey,
I have to get a
I have to
tattoo.
get the tattoo. And then I remembered that after I had Ryan, I got this allergy test, and she asked me, do you have any tattoos? And I said, no, why? And she's like, oh, because you're allergic to the
Ink.
main ingredient in the ink for the tattoo. But now I need to figure out, like, if I get an allergic reaction, is it just like immediately, or is it like forever because the ink is in my body?
Right.
And
Or like,
maybe-
is there hypoallergenic ink?
There is.
There must be.
There is.
There has to be like options.
Well, I
think
need
so.
hypoallergenic ink
We're gonna go get them. We just need to plan a day. We
and
have.
hypoallergenic ink.
We need to do hypoallergenic ink. We should do like a. I feel like we should go to the spa.
Let's go to
And
Burke Williams.
Yeah. Like use our Burke Williams and then
Thanks,
go
Hank.
and get tattoos, and then, or like go get lunch and then go get tattoos.
Yeah.
Right? Like that sounds like a nice day.
That sounds very nice. When are we
Hank-
doing this?
I don't know. Hank
You're-
reached out to
Yeah,
right because like what if I leave next week?
Yeah, I'm like, okay.
Hank reached out to our friend who has a lot of tattoos, and she gave us some like places that
To
we
be
could
honest,
go.
Jordy, I like
sh-
don't mean to be mean, but like you're getting the simplest tattoos. So, like, really doesn't matter who you go to.
I'm getting a bus.
Honestly, it does not matter.
Are you
where
sure?
I'm 1,000.
I've like seen those things where like they spell things wrong or like.
Okay, you were
Oh,
getting
Jordy,
a J.
that's like. Are you
an
looking
A.
on TikTok?
I mean, no, I haven't been, but like I just want to make sure
You're
it's
not
gonna
getting
look
this
good.
like extravagant photo of Brody's face on your ass. Like you're getting a J and A.
It would be
on
weird
you,
to put
so-
my child's face on my butt.
It would be weird.
Yeah. It's like a really weird picture. Every time I go to sit on the toilet, I'm just sitting on Brody's face.
I don't know why I said that.
I don't know either.
Okay, but yeah, it's not intricate at all. That's a
Okay,
good
whatever.
point.
That's true.
Why
okay.
did I say that?
Anyways, it's Shamu's girlfriend. She has like a lot of tattoos.
So does Alex.
I know, but she like hasn't gotten one in a long time.
Yeah, it's been a while.
When you got in, yeah.
You know, it's like she doesn't have someone that
But
she just went to.
Megan just got one.
She did.
Like 2 years ago.
Okay.
That's not
That's not like
just.
just, but sure.
It was on Ventura. Right
Yeah,
by,
Ventura near Jinkies Cafe.
Yes.
Yes, that's the place to go. That's
Oh,
where I
is
got
it?
my
Know
ear
this?
pierced.
Oh,
Yeah.
that I've gone there for them to take out my
Yeah.
piercings as well.
Oh, maybe I'll get a piercing while you guys get your tattoos.
Oh, okay, you're not gonna.
Are you gonna get
another
like a new tattoo? I was thinking like should we also do
Oh.
like one other like little tattoo?
No, just
I would
one.
love to.
Okay, great.
You want to join in?
One.
You,
Okay,
you don't
we'll
want to
do
join
it.
us with the second one?
She's gonna do it.
I think one.
Like what if we got the kids?
Like the kids, what?
Like initials.
R-E-B?
R.
R. Rubber.
R-E-B-R? But what if
We have more at some point.
we just
can
add
just
We
that?
just
add on.
add them on to the back because they'll be at the
Okay.
end,
That's cute.
right? It's kind of cute
Rubber.
because that could be like we can all get it in the same place, same,
Then our moms
it's
will
like-
want their initials which
What,
are
tattooed on our-
LSR. I realized that they do it in their
Order as well.
yeah, which is like loser, but
Or laser.
laser or looser
Okay, no, I don't like that one.
or
Just that's it. I think those are the options.
REB.
Yeah, REBR.
But Jay
R-
was not. You weren't. Oh, you were
Yes.
born. Yeah, that's right.
yes.
I was born first.
Yeah, you were born first. Well,
Alex and I share the same birthday, but I'm 21 minutes older.
That's
so
right.
I'm the oldest.
and I'm 6 months younger.
yeah, which I always thought of as like, I was always jealous of you,
But now
but now I'm like, you know
Aging is
what?
a nice
Aging
thing.
is a nice thing. Like I would love to get some wrinkles.
yeah.
I'd still probably want to like do something about
Botox?
them. Yeah, like
But you
And,
want to
like-
have be able to have Botox as a solution to a problem of aging.
anyways. I love you guys.
I love you.
And I'm just grateful to have such good friends.
And I hate brain cancer.
And I hate brain cancer,
Yeah, me
but it's
too.
beyond friends. It's like, I don't know. There's like not a word for it. I feel like maybe
Should we
it's-
ask ChatGPT?
yeah, maybe there's like another language.
Okay.
Remember we were
Let's
saying
do
this
it.
yesterday?
Okay.
What was the thing we were
Oh yeah,
talking about
so
yesterday?
in Antarctica, they have. I think it's Antarctica.
Hank just said,
Eskimos.
tell Jordy to check her email.
Oh, God.
We're doing this right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. What am I asking Chat?
He
God,
said,
it's-
well, guess we're going to Boston.
What?
Hi, Jordana. Please review the attached consent form for the glioblastoma
Oh my God, I'm,
clinical
like,
trial
freaking
at
out.
MGH.
Oh my gosh, you're going.
What?
Wait, who said? Well, I guess we're going to Boston.
Hank. Wow, they wouldn't have sent it to me
Can
if
I
they
see
looked
this?
at my images and
I'm like
said no.
Oh my God, I feel
getting
really-
that
Sweating.
feeling again.
Yeah.
So you're going.
Like you got in my doctor's appointment.
Honestly, Jordy, when I was there,
I know, you had a bad
knew.
feeling.
I knew
I know. You've been like right on with your instincts the whole time.
from the minute. You
so that's
had
why when Erica was
surgery,
so sad the other day and I asked
you
you,
were like,
You're like,
and you were like,
I don't care what the fuck
you were
Erica
like,
thinks.
not quite. And I was like, okay, like great. I like
know.
hung on to that.
I just feel I don't know. I've like had this, and I've talked to Erica about this. I've just like felt unwell
Yeah.
the minute that I was with you for that
I know.
call, and I just knew.
Yeah.
Like you don't just see a dot on a scan and say,
Yeah.
probably like you don't know. It's like no, we know. This may be the start. I mean,
But like so dumb that like the radiologist didn't know.
so does that mean?
Do you think
you're-
it's happening, Alex?
Are you asking me because of my gut?
Yeah.
I do think you're going to Boston.
You do.
I do.
So is Alex like our
That's
fortune
so weird
teller
because
now?
I have a feeling, like I just had a feeling, like no.
that feels accurate.
I literally went into their room today, yours and Hank's room,
Yeah.
and I literally said, like, I'm taking Brody. Like, I
yeah,
don't want you
she
to
started
worry.
crying and she
I
was
know.
like,
I saw her come out of the room, and I'm like, why did I miss this moment?
Because I also feel like it's stuff like that if you can just, like, take off your plate and not worry.
I know. It's
Like,
just like a
you-
lot to add like another child to your life. Like you're full on single parenting it.
I hear you.
Yeah.
But, like, it's not.
like the grandmas
know?
will obviously help, but it was just like so sweet.
And I have baby
kind.
play dates.
And I know
and
you have
Sundays
like
and
Yeah, I mean, I
Bob
can
will be
also
over
take
on
I
it.
know,
Wednesdays.
I know.
And yeah, we'll also, we're going to.
Yeah.
But
We're gonna
and I just
figure
feel
it out.
like he just like loves you guys so much and he like talks about you guys so much and
Yeah.
you'll be like it'll be comforting for him to be with you guys.
Yeah.
Like whenever he's not with you
A lot of
guys.
play dates.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, we have.
You guys are going to have a lot of play dates.
It's like we don't have a room for him like you do, but
He has a full sensory room.
Yeah, I
for
know.
A sensory boy.
For a
but Ryan
sensory
doesn't
boy.
even have his own room, so it's,
Right. So that's
it's fine.
sad for Ryan. But yeah,
no, I knew you were going to Boston. The minute Anthony is someone that works or is on the board at my work, texted me that trial.
Yeah,
that
I
you
know.
were already going to do a different one.
I was going to do a different
And
version of it here.
Yes, his exact words were, Jordy should seriously look into this trial. Should like the other one not work?
Yep.
And then it popped up again.
I know, it's so crazy because like that was really the conversation. Like the first time around it was like, oh, obviously I'm doing the UCLA one because it's here in Los Angeles,
Right.
which
Of
of
course.
course made sense.
Your family's here.
My family's
you're-
here. My whole life is here. Why would I travel if I don't need to? And then like stupid lymphocyte number.
Right.
Ugh.
Didn't make it.
Couldn't get in.
And there is no.
There is no lymphocyte.
There is no
Correct. 'Cause I
lymphocyte
looked at the-
criteria.
Right.
So
I know I was looking at the blood marker eligibility
Yeah,
criteria
she's
it's
making
today.
me crazy
it's
today.
not there. God, I like feel like we were on 2 different trips today. I feel like you guys were having your own trip.
She was making.
I was
I
having
was
my own
looking
trip.
through the clinical trial and I just wanted to see like what's the eligibility criteria and like
I literally had to tell her to stop. I said,
Yeah.
"You're making yourself
but
crazy."
to be fair, this is what I said. It was like before UCLA, your doctors knew what your numbers were. And no one told you, hey, based on your
That's
previous
true.
data, you may not be eligible for this.
That's very
trial.
true. They didn't tell me that.
So I just needed to like do my due
yeah,
diligence.
yeah. I did look at the criteria
and you're
though.
a
and it-
researcher. Like I get it.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I
like
also
that
was
brings
just
her like a lot of comfort. Like she asked me 4 times today to show me my MRI report, and I was like,
know.
okay.
And here I am sitting looking at this
At this-
informed
Right.
consent.
Yeah, this
Also,
informed
what is that-
consent.
So does that mean?
It's
It's me just consenting to participate in the trial.
but it's like an official first step.
Can I see
It's
it?
it's like
Yeah.
the official first
Oh,
step.
the only reason why she wouldn't do it is if she's not
Not
eligible.
qualify.
Correct.
So you would go there next week.
Yeah.
They would run some tests.
Like next week feels soon.
I think it's happening next week.
Okay.
Let me just check my calendar real quick.
Because they're saying, like, here's the screening: medical history, physical exam, blood test, ECG, echo, tumor assessment. That's
my one
happening.
worry is like my last EKG like didn't come back normal.
Oh, right. Did you do a
My
follow-up?
I didn't do a follow up. My doctor was just like, I cannot imagine this to be correct, because he was like, the EKG you had most recently before that was like completely normal,
And you don't have heart issues.
and I don't have a heart condition. He was just like, I feel like they put the clips on wrong, and we're rushing.
Right.
So it's like, if I don't get in because of my EKG, that
Well, I think you should redo it. Stat.
like now,
That's
I should
right.
like message my doctor.
Maybe you should do that
should. I
before
think
you
you
fly to
should.
Boston.
I think you should do that now.
Okay, well it's Friday night and I'm in San Diego, so like I'll
Talking to us.
I'll message my doctor, my regular doctor, to have them redo the.
Oh, so they're doing something called like leukapheresis.
Yeah,
A procedure to collect your lymphocytes or immune cells.
Correct. So that's the thing on the 24th. That's what I would be doing.
And then
I
then
can't
they're
believe
giving
this.
you chemotherapy.
I know. So I get surgery, then I get chemotherapy.
Then you do the.
Yeah, like I mean they're doing a lot. Like it's
And you're doing infusion chemo
yes. Yeah, it's not a pill.
because it's
Well, they're not going to give me Timidar. It didn't work.
no, I know it's cyclomethacimide,
Like
You wanna
probably
say that again?
CCNU. It's probably like lomustine or something.
cyclophosphamide.
It's probably like lomustine or carmustine or
Okay,
something like
and
that.
then flubatardine.
What?
I don't know. Okay, and then you're gonna have a catheter.
In my head. That's the part that freaks me out.
Mhm.
Right? Like having the catheter in
I mean,
my
I'm
head.
just confused because like when I think of a catheter,
Right, no, I know.
yeah,
You think of your bladder.
Anyway, how are you feeling about all this now that
I mean, like, glad to know that they looked at the images and that they're like, yeah,
she qualifies.
she qualifies, like, based on the images. You know, like, that's a step in the right direction. Scary to, like, be committing to going to Boston for 3 months or longer. Yeah, it's just, like, really intense. But
So you and Hank would have to get an Airbnb of some
we're going to
sorts.
get, like, well, so he looked into some of the housing options. They
yeah,
don't
I know
look
the one I sent him. He said it was
great.
really depressing. So
Yeah.
Why can't you get like a?
We can get an Airbnb.
Yeah.
We just like have to pay for it. Well, I love you guys, and
love
I
you.
feel like people can't get the full scope of like
what we're going through.
of like our relationship and our like bond. Like I don't think people will understand it, even just like listening to something or seeing it on video. It's just like runs really, 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 really
Well, we
deep.
all met when we were like
Five,
yeah.
Yeah, like we were little tiny babies, and it's not like we like just met and then like fell off for a while and then like like we've been each other's best friends since we were 5 years old.
Yeah.
It's like every
yeah,
Every turn,
every
ups and
situation,
downs.
all the ups and downs,
We
like
know everything about.
yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
everything. So it's just
wilds.
yeah, and I love you guys.
I love you
love you.
too.
Alex, how was your first podcast?
It's so fun.
It's kind of fun, right?
It's kind of fun.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'll be back.
you'll be back.
I'll be back.
Great.
Bye.
Love you. Thanks so much for listening to Grief Street. We put out new episodes every Monday. If you'd like to support us, give us a follow on Instagram and TikTok. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel to find the video version of our episodes. Please subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts and give us a 5-star review. We would love to hear from you and get some feedback. If you'd like to contact us, please email griefstreetpodcast@gmail.com or leave us a voicemail at 508-474-3378. That's 508-GRIEFST. Our theme song is Hepcat Jive, courtesy of purpleplanet.com. We'll see you next time.